How you doing? Welcome to week two. Okay, so I've got a lot to cover this week, so let's jump right into it. So during week one, we were introduced to phase one of the course project and asked to research and gather data to begin the project. So basically what you did is you're choosing a city to host the Winter Olympics, and you're kind of proving via research why that city is a viable choice. So I have given many video critique feedbacks, and I think that it's smart for you guys to kind of jump back and forth. And if you have jumped back and forth, you kind of notice that I've been saying quite similar things in several of the presentations. And a lot of those things revolve around these considerations right here. So in this preliminary or this first phase report of our project, it's not enough to say, hey, I think this is a great location because it has snow, it's beautiful, it's got a rich cultural heritage, historical cultural heritage of the indigenous people, and it's a cultural icon. That's not enough. There's really a lot more that goes into that, and it's pointing to research. And these are just some of the things that you can take into consideration. So basically, by the time somebody, myself or somebody, your classmates, are done reading your report, they should have no questions. You just say, okay, you've sold me on the fact that so-and-so is a good choice for the Winter Olympics. Okay, is location in South America a good location for the Winter Olympics? No, of course not, because the weather doesn't accommodate. Conversely, is a rural, completely rural area a good location for a Winter Olympics? And probably not, because there are no considerations for housing athletes. There are probably in a rural area no venues, no pre-existing buildings that can be retrofitted or converted into a location for several of the Winter Olympic events. Okay. Conversely, a very much a rural area would probably not have much of a nightlife, restaurants, theater, cultural activities for the spectators. Okay, so hope that's specifically clear. Now, one of the things that I do recommend in your final presentation for this week, for this first phase of the assignment, is this, and I'm gonna bring this up really quick. So let's just come over here. Actually, I've got this on my desktop. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. And I've got. Let me see. But hang on one second. Okay, this is what I'm getting to right here. This is the OWL, the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and in your final presentation, you definitely have to cite your sources, just to prove that you've done research and that this is a research-based project, and that you're showing that you understand how to research and how to cite the sources you've used in your research. So we're using Chicago CMS style at RimCAD. So here's a great synopsis. Again, it's OWL, Purdue, Purdue Online Writing Lab. And if you just Google Purdue OWL, you'll get right here. And then you can just click on Chicago Manual of Style, and then you can get some examples on how to exactly format your citations using that format. And you can also get a kind of a brief synopsis if you go to Citation Machine and take a look at the formatting there. And Citation Machine is not considered a scholarly resource. However, you can certainly go to Citation Machine to take a look at to see how Chicago Manual style is formatted. Okay, let's get rid of that guy. Okay, and come on back here to our phase one, as I was talking about. And now during week two, we're going to submit our final report, which should include the following: findings that detail the chosen city's ability to host the event, and of course these considerations. Findings that detail what makes a culture you choose unique. So this is where you're getting into the rich cultural heritage of the indigenous people of your location, specifically going into art, textiles, languages, mythology, music, and customs. Quite often you're going to find your visual solutions deeply embedded in those considerations there. So please keep that in mind. A plan of how these precedents may inspire your design solutions, which a lot of you got into in your first iteration. Now, I had made some comments about that. Don't talk about exactly yet. You're not going to decide what your fonts are or your colors or anything yet. A lot of that's going to come through in further research. But do talk about how you plan on using and how you plan on you may become inspired by some of these considerations, art, textiles, language of mythology, et cetera, et cetera. And then a mission statement that spores your future phases along with a strategic plan of action. So in other words, you want to come down here and write a mission statement. I've included this, how to write a mission statement. And I've also included this. If you click on this right here, I'm just going to open that in a new window. Here's some really cool examples of mission statements from really valuable brands. So you can go through this and you can find, here's Microsoft's mission statement. Here's Google's mission statement. Note they're not long at all. They're very, very brief and very, very, okay. And then here's how to write a mission statement, which is actually right here. Okay, so really good stuff here. So definitely take a look at that. And then we have this week's presentation, scheduled presentation. One of the things I want to mention in the presentation is this. I want to go through the schedule really quick because there's something I definitely want to address here. So project one, phase one, that's due Sunday. That's your final report. Okay, that's due Sunday. Now your discussion, your initial post for your discussion is due Wednesday, and then your response post to your classmates' initial posts are due Sunday. Okay, and this is what I want to talk about right here, where it says critique. So in the critique phase, right now I've added this initial post due Wednesday 7/5. Okay, now that's not in the original class intent, because if you take a look at the critique project phase one, we see that the post is due by Sunday midnight. But what I want to say is this, and this should make sense to you guys. So looking at the class schedule, okay, critique. So when you complete your project, you want to submit it as soon as possible, even before you submit it. Don't wait till Sunday to submit your final report, because you just won't have time to get critique. A lot of students posted early this week, and you'll find out, those of you who have posted early, you've gotten ample feedback, including video. And I'd like to do that, but you've got to post earlier than Sunday, because by Sunday, I'm already starting to work on the next week, okay? So again, try to get your initial post due for critique for project phase one, information and research gathering, data gathering. Try to get that done, at least get your initial post done by Wednesday. All right, that way I can get comments back to you, your classmates can get comments back to you, and you can submit your final report on Sunday. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys. As far as our, let me see, our discussion for week two, pretty self-explanatory, but you're just going to create a logo and talk about what, how do you explain effective communication. So choose your logo and talk about it in these parameters right here. Okay, then we have, this is a critique. This is what I was talking about. Try to get this done by Wednesday, submitted by Wednesday. And then we have our presentation for week two is building a strong foundation. Now, please take a look at this. There are some really good resources in this as well, including these videos. There's a couple of videos this week that are really, really good. And I definitely want you to take a look at all of the links that go outside the course to really, here's one right here. This is the Goodfill project, just to get an understanding of what it is we're looking at, and what we're trying to get to meet the course objectives and the weekly objectives for the class. Okay, so that is my welcome to week two. Any questions, comments, or concerns whatsoever, guys, please let me know. I think everybody's got a really good grasp on what's going on for week one. Let's step it up. Final presentation week two, again, try to get submitted by Wednesday, and then our discussion board. Well, week three is really kind of where the rubber hits the road, where we'll start deciding where we're going to take our design solutions. Also, during week three, we're going to schedule our required meetings for week four. We have a required meeting that will go to meeting. So I'll be scheduling those meetings during week three. Please, it's imperative to know that your meeting must be scheduled by Sunday of week three, and the meetings are held during week four. Okay, hope that makes sense. In your mission statements, you may take the opportunity to jump over to future weeks to see what's developing, so that you can address that. Okay, so here's project one, information, week two, project week two, project information research final gathering or final stage. Then week three, phase two, concept design begin. Phase two, concept design final. Phase three, design development. So you can go into these different phases, up to phase four, and include those in your developed mission statement for when you're planning out your scheduling. Okay. Hope everything makes sense, guys. I know there's a lot here, but it's a fantastic class. You guys are going to learn so much. I promise you that. It's really, really super important that you really keep up with everything. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, or others, please let me know. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to week 2.